Leather gloves, we're slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy,
If you need.
love on a stick.
Want to do HCN?
He's chasing the beer. They circle the lips, play ball.
The voiceover for the commercial.
Play ball. Load up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughter Saves Lives.
Live!
Here on Strong Island TV in Paradise Studio on Facebook Live in beautiful Massapequa, New York.
Garden of Eden of Long Island,
Right
Massapequa.
next door to the Long Island Railroad Station.
Yes.
Yes?
If you notice, I didn't do the live. That
You
do.
never do.
There's a reason for that.
Because
Well,
you're like
why is
Fonzie,
that?
I told you.
I want the kids out there to
Yes.
know it's okay to not succumb to peer pressure.
I like it.
Oh,
Good
that's
good
what I'm
lesson.
doing.
Good lesson for the kids that are watching.
Yes.
Spoken
So,
by that bastion of moralistic good service, Steve Oliver.
I
Thank you.
love
Thank
he's
you,
so
Creepo.
smart.
Thank you, Creepo.
Why would you call him Creepo? That's not nice to start off a show.
It's a term of endearment.
That's his
Oh,
clown
it's a term
name.
of endearment.
That's his clown name when he
Term of
performs. as a
endearment.
clown.
So
Creepo the clown.
we'll start off. I think with we're all about the laughs
Aren't you
here.
glad
We're
you're on
definitely
scene?
all about the laughs. We want to laugh, and we want to make people laugh, and we don't do politics and on this show at all. I just want to say that if you get a chance, though, watch whether you like Jon Stewart or not. Watch his 9-minute speech to Congress today. I didn't watch the whole speech, but I hear it's pretty emotional, and it's pretty interesting. To say anything else, they're still down there. I was at the Ray Pfeiffer. I told you guys the Ray Pfeiffer golf outing, representing Laughter Saves Lives, doing some schmoozing and mingling yesterday. Met a lot of nice people, and one of the guys on the board, he's with a cane, not feeling good. The golf outing was over. Went down to D.C. And I don't know if you watched all the news, but one of the guys, 69th chemo,
That's
he's getting tomorrow.
Yeah.
He
He's
was
a cop. Yeah.
Yeah, 69th
I believe his
treatment.
name is Lou Alvarez. I'm
Lou,
not sure of
yes.
the last name,
I
but
think-
it's definitely
I think
his
it's
first
Lou.
name is Lou.
Yes.
And there's a guy, man. He's a trooper. Gets his chemo. He
Feel
went down
better,
there today.
feel better, Lou.
Feel better,
keep
Lou.
fighting, Lou, and
Yeah.
and everybody. You know,
Heroes.
John Field is leading the charge, and,
Oh,
Yeah.
John's always been.
and all these guys. So yeah, Lou got a standing ovation.
Yeah, it's
You know.
they're doing good work.
You know, we don't talk politics here, but I got to give Stewart his due because
He's
he made
terrific.
he made such a fabulous point. He said some politicians are saying this is a New York thing, and
Well-
he said no. They didn't say attack, destroy Tribeca. They said destroy America.
Right.
So
Can
it's,
you?
know,
But John, some people might not know what Jon Stewart is representing us for.
He's representing, I always pronounce it wrong, they're fighting
This is
for
a drawing of it.
extended benefits for the firefighters, cops, all first responders that were injured and getting sick down there. There's
From
a certain
9/11.
Victims compensation.
victim compensation. If you got sick from 9/11, you get a certain amount of money to help you. Help you. They're going to cut those funds either off or reduce them greatly. And these guys are down there fighting Congress, pleading their case to not do that.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone out there, I think it may end in 2020 or something.
Something.
well,
Yeah.
Like that?
they funded
Or
the
reduce.
Zadroga Act to 2035, but there's a provision in there that was
Reduction.
only funded for 5 years, which is what he went down to say that's
Right.
disgraceful.
Right.
Okay.
So great job. Thank you,
yeah,
thank
gotta
you,
give
thank you for doing that, guys.
Yes.
So I was at the Ray Pfeiffer. Amy Freeze was there. Bunch of people there. But two people came up to me, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but as a comic, forget about a firefighter. As a comic, it's always nice. One guy came up to me, double-fisted drinker, right?
Fireman.
Yes.
What a surprise.
Yes,
the
double-fisted drinker. Puts down his 2 drinks. He goes, "It's so nice to finally meet you. You make me laugh." He goes, "I follow you on Facebook." I hugged him, brother. 2 people came up to me like that. I was talking to another woman, and the same thing. She goes, "John, I've been following you
How
for
many
a few
beers was she drinking?
She was tanked.
Tanked.
I said, she goes, she even called me Steve Oliva. So she said, "John, I've been following you for a
Can't
few
blame her.
years, and I think you're so funny." And I started talking to her, blah, blah, blah. Finally, I said, "Thank you, ma'am. By the way, I didn't get your name." She goes, "Oh, I'm Ray Pfeiffer's wife."
Oh.
So and then I turned around and gave her a bigger hug. You don't know how much that means to me. That
Absolutely.
because that was when Ray was sick too. I used to go back and forth with Ray a little bit and say, "Hey, come to a show. Take your mind off things." And we never hooked up with that, but that meant a lot to me that she came to me. So thank you. Beautiful guy. It was a horrible weather, but the dinner was packed. They did a great job. It really was a nice affair, and hopefully we're going to be doing a show just for them, like we did the thing at Gotham. And they all raved about the show, and I said I wasn't there, and they said, yeah, it was a great show.
Well, there you go. Now we know the common denominator. The common denominator
They
is
don't
you,
want
John.
you there at the show coming up either, probably. But anyway.
As a fireman, I'm always proud to know that my brothers, retired and active, even if it's raining, are still double fisting it.
Absolutely.
And
Cops too.
cops too.
We will. We can drink anywhere, anytime, any day.
Off duty, of course.
Of course.
I have to tell you,
Of
it was nice. The shrimp cocktail was awesome. On another somber note, I don't want to get too somber here, but
Oh, we will.
I came on the job in 1987.
Yes.
Came out of Proby School with 4 guys who went to Lotta 12 Engine 3. 2 of us went to 12 truck, 2 of us went to Engine 3. Mike Murphy out of Rosedale, New York. I would say pound for pound, the toughest guy that I ever met in my life, and probably punched more people in the face than anybody I know.
Oh, wow.
Fight bar fights. He was
Rough guy.
drinker. I mean, tough. Yeah, rough guy.
Does he get punched more than Frank who doesn't take the garbage out?
No.
Nobody gets
Sweetheart,
punched that much.
do anything for you. That
Tough
type of
guy,
guy,
though.
tough guy, but sweetheart.
Yeah.
You could say, but what was so funny about Mike was that, and they, by the way, he passed away. He passed away. Hit me hard. That was my. We went to the same house, had a Proby school, had an embolism from knee surgery.
Oh, wow.
Heart attack, stroke from knee surgery, and then was recuperating, but lost all his short-term memory. Guys took him out a few weeks ago. Who did the show at for Gina at Rescue Inc. Rescue
Oh,
Families.
the comedy night?
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, that's
Patty
us.
G
Yeah,
was there.
straight.
Patty
All
Brown.
right. So you remember that night the guy showed up from 12 truck. I was sick. I couldn't talk, and I said to you guys, listen, I can't talk. I'm headline. I can't. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to try to. And 3 guys come walking in and I haven't seen in 15 years. So that wasn't good. But they were going to take him to the race on Saturday. He loved the Belmont. What was the race?
The Belmont
Belmont
Stakes.
Stakes.
He loved the Belmont in Stakes. They were going to take him, and then the wife called him 2 nights before, and said Mike passed away. So God bless you, Mike Murphy. You made me laugh. I was glad you had my back, brother, because you're one tough guy.
Well, you can't fight. I've seen you fight.
No.
Thank God he has
I
your back.
never punched somebody in the face in my whole life. Mike probably did one a week.
I did in the 3rd grade.
In 3rd grade?
She was
Well, you're a tough guy, too.
She was taking my milk money daily.
You
and
finally had enough.
I had to draw the line.
And she was in the 1st grade.
She was.
Well, anyway,
No, I'm not
that
tough
was
Well,
guy.
listen, I'd
I'm
like
not a
to.
tough guy. I'm a lever, not a fighter.
Right.
We know.
I'd like to acknowledge former colleague of mine, Keith Ferrara, who passed last week of 9/11 related cancer. Keith was a great guy. He was in the 7-7, and he went over to the mounted unit. But he was a great guy, and that's why we have to keep fighting for the Zdroiga bill. And
Yeah, and like we said, we're all about the laughs here, but some weeks it's just
it is.
it hits you harder than others, and
So as I like to say, Keith, I'll see you at end of tour.
very nice. So I had my endoscopy last week. Nobody asked me about my endoscopy.
Well, you never ask about my colonoscopies.
Dr. Gould over at what's the name of the company? Gastro.
Oh, that was the Bringer endoscopy.
Yes,
right.
yes, but let me tell
Bringer?
you.
Bringer endoscopy.
Let me tell you something. I went over there, and I talk. In fact, they may sponsor the gala. Talk. They give me the anesthesia, and the nurse is telling me to shut up. The anesthesiologist is talking to me about. I used to do stand up.
We gave it to him already. Are we doing this joke again?
No. But have you ever? You've been under anesthesia.
I have.
The anesthesia.
It's beautiful.
I
I'm
might
still
be-
under it.
I might be under it right
yeah,
now.
Yeah, really. I wish I was right now.
I was scared. I was scared. I go in there. I go. I don't know what to expect.
I was just scared. I loved
I was scared. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. Well, I'm not. I said to her,
scared?
"I'm not getting sleepy yet. I'm not getting." And then you wake up.
And it's over.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's
Very, very much like Pat's comedy sets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
most
Pat-
of the audience
And
is
Pat is out. Go ahead.
Pat has administered anesthesia many times.
Right.
He calls them roofies.
Right. We call him.
He calls them
We
jokes.
call him his set. He's actually doing the Friars Club tonight. That's a big honor.
Oh, I
Patty
meant
M,
Pat
he made it
Gagliardi.
Oh, Pat Gagliardi.
right.
Patty G.
Uh,
Patty
You know what?
G.
They're interchangeable.
That's true. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Patty G doing. I mean, Patty M doing
Patty
the
M,
Friars Club.
Friars Club tonight. He's down there doing. There's a chef, right?
Chef,
that's being
yes,
roasted
Chef,
or something.
Yes.
Emerald? No, not Emerald.
Emerald.
But I think
The other
Burke-
famous guy.
Burke.
And Patty's gonna do his penis
Yeah.
pump jokes.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's gonna go over
and
well.
Good luck to him, Moreau.
It is a good rupture with ravioli.
Gentlemen, we would be remiss if we did not say anything about this, but
What?
there's not many of them alive. But last week was the 75th anniversary
Yes,
of
we-
D-Day.
We said that, didn't we last
We
week?
did. Oh, maybe last week you did it.
Yeah.
But
Oh, did you? I
I think
apologize.
so. And that
But,
97-year-old jumped out of the plane
Yeah.
into Normandy, right?
Yes.
And so,
to
to
the beach.
any of the veterans that are still
Yes.
around, God bless you and thank you for
all
your
veterans.
service.
All veterans.
And well, would you let me finish? God.
Did we ever let you finish?
No.
The
Why-
beaches,
why would today
the
be any
beaches
different?
of Normandy.
Why would you ask now if we let you finish? Did we ever let you
And to
finish?
all our vets out there, thank you.
Yes, yes. Very nice. Very, very well said.
I went
Patty
to
G.
the racetrack, to the horse racing.
There we go.
To
Right
put some
from the-
money, to put some money
Nice.
on some horses.
Yes, how'd you do?
I lost my shorts. I didn't win anything, but
He actually has
I
no
gave
shorts on.
$3
Yes.
to there's the veterans that stand outside and the degenerate gamblers like myself.
Right.
Hopefully they give them money.
Best investment of the day.
You went to Belmont Racetrack?
No, I go to this.
OTB.
Oh, there we go.
It's kind of like OTB. It's like
The Palace.
it's where losers congregate, and I fit right in.
Doesn't Steve? Don't I owe you $10 from the last race?
Yes, you do.
Right.
I bet a horse for you. I bet endoscopy in the second race, and
And it came up short.
it came up short.
You bet on a
So-
Palopany.
A string of Palopones.
So, all right. So,
Don't ever say that again, Pat, please.
so I'm still I'm getting my bathroom done in a few weeks.
Oh, they haven't started yet.
No, and we're doing it with a gentleman.
Oh, yes.
I don't want to. Should I say George's last
I
name?
wouldn't mention George
in
Rini's
case he
name.
screws up.
Don't ever mention George Rini's name.
All right, so we're not going to mention George Rini's name.
Don't.
My wife said, "Who are you getting to do the bathroom?" And I go, "Well, he's a comic." And that's like a fireman. I said, no, he's a contractor first,
Right.
then a comic, not a comic who's trying to be a contractor. There's a big
Although that might work out better.
I don't
Did you hear
know.
the one about the faucet that was installed and broke a week later?
No.
Hilarious. I'll tell you that one.
Oh, so you know, in order to save money, I'm ordering everything myself. Okay, Home Depot. So we went to Blackman to get the bathtub, and I ordered a wonderful vanity and top through Home Depot online, whatever. And my wife walks into Blackman. You know how much stuff is in Blackman? You know who shops in Blackman
don't
for
know.
their bathrooms? You don't know them. We don't know them.
Wealthy people.
Wealthy people.
North Shore
So my
Gold
wife
Coast
walks
people.
in, and the mistake I made is bringing her into Blackman. We'll get the tub. It's just a tub, you know.
Right.
Oh, I want to go look. She walks in. As soon as she walks in, she's like the worst person to buy a cup. I like this. I want this. I got much. It's $1,400. Now my vanity is $560 that I bought in Home Depot. It's $1,400. So I'm all right. He goes, "Oh, you want that?" So I go, "You know, honey, you deserve it. You want
Right.
He goes, "You want a top on that?"
Right.
What do you mean? The one from Home Depot is
So now you know
$560.
how your $8,000 bathroom becomes a $16,000
Yes.
bathroom.
Oh, that's what happened to you?
That's exactly what happened to us.
shoot.
Well, actually, 1,400 for a tub is not.
No. The tub was only $700.
Right.
Oh,
I got a little. They wanted it a little deeper. I said to my wife, "We're getting older. We're gonna step over the tub at 70. You know, I'm not changing."
You need
the
that
tub.
walk-in tub now.
yeah.
So anyway,
With the colonoscopy jets.
anyway, I talked her out of the vanity once we figured the top was another $800 or whatever. You ever do a bathroom?
I have.
Did you ever? Did you
Oh, no, I've ripped
Did you
up-
do construction?
As a fireman, I've ripped many out.
You ripped them out. You
Yeah,
were
but
a
that
demo
was,
guy.
That was when the fire was in the bedroom, but you just started ripping out the bathroom.
Excuse me, Frank.
Listen, we never did any damage. What do they? You know what they call? Cops call firemen, especially the FBI and stuff. Evidence. What is it? Destroyers. Evidence. Whatever. We destroy all the evidence.
I was once searching an apartment at a fire,
Oh, sure.
and
Good. I'm glad you said out of fire. I was
fire.
worried there for a second.
no. I was searching an
My old
apartment,
girlfriend Janie.
and
Good.
it was cards, as we say, which means it was smoke. So I was calling around searching, and I didn't know I was in a bathroom until my hand right in the toilet. I
Did you feel a tile
after-
on the floor?
No, I was feeling around. You don't know.
Oh, you had
what
your
it
gloves
is.
on. You
Yeah,
had gloves
Gloves
All
on.
right.
I mean,
So
Well,
the
some
fire
people-
went out, and I unclogged the toilet at the same time. So,
I don't have many of those stories. I had one where I pulled somebody out, and the guy had a knife in his hand, and I think he was like wanted to kill himself in the fire. So anybody that came in to try to rescue him, he was going to stab him. Thank God the guy was unconscious, because then I would have got stabbed.
so he had the knife in his hand.
He had the knife in his hand like this,
Maybe it
but he was
the-
unconscious.
Maybe it was the chef that Pat was roasting tonight.
It was Patty.
Really?
If you notice tonight, this is the indication that Frank is here.
that's right.
When you see the big police car, which he thinks we use when he's not here,
Whether you use it or not, as long as
we
it's
use
here
the
when
little
I'm
one.
here.
Can we get a bigger fire
Plus,
truck
it's
then?
first off, I don't even know why you didn't get an FDNY.
Well, we'll get one.
Hold on, Frank is in that car.
We got
No,
the ambulance.
He's eating a Danish as
This
we
car
speak.
is too nice. See, the ones we had, they had the milk crates to keep the seat up, and the
roll-down
guys,
windows.
The guys that would cut the steering wheel with their pocket knives. This car's too nice. This is probably a lieutenant's car.
Doesn't say CPR on it.
No, this one doesn't say CPR.
You know,
no,
we
it does.
should-
Yes,
We could have a firehouse over here because that's a lot of police
Well,
officers
listen, I
used to
can-
sit in the firehouse.
yes.
Have
Yes, we
lunch
can do
with
that.
us.
See, everyone, in case you don't know, we have two firemen here, John and I, retired. One retired
We
sergeant.
don't look retired though.
sergeant,
That's me. Yes,
and
Pat.
and one tax guy.
The idiot who works for the government.
One tax guy.
As Tom
We all work
Dendario
for
would
the
say,
government.
he's a last responder. Mm-hmm. Last responder. Congratulations
On.
to comic and now fellow, let's call him first responder, Jack Clunan.
Oh, excellent for Jack. Yes.
What a wonderful story. We're going to have Jack back on.
Let me
We
tell you
had
something.
Jack on the show.
I
What
worked.
happened?
I worked for City EMS. It was the best job I ever had. man.
Really? It's a
I,
tough
I,
job.
I loved that job.
Really?
I
Yeah.
would go in
Highly
early, stay
underpaid.
late, and never put in for overtime. And this was before the merge. This is when it was
Right.
DC 37
No.
on the Health and Hospitals Corporation.
Yes, you go way back. You go way back.
Way back. So now everyone that can't get on the FDNY, the other alternative is to make the route.
Well, it's not
through
that they can't get on, but it gives
it's
them
the
the
list.
start.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what happens is
They get some credit.
is you get preference because you're coming
Yes.
from.
Oh, is that you kind of backdoor it with
well,
the EMS?
I don't want to say
kind of thing?
backdooring it because
That's
it's,
a tough job,
It's
EMS,
legitimate. You know what I mean?
But-
It's,
Well, that could be a career in its own, right?
Not only do you
Absolutely.
start
Oh,
building.
I get a backdoor and ambulance joke, right? Because
Go with it. Go with it.
Thanks, Steve.
It's a very witty joke. Go with it. Yeah, that's what you were thinking. You start your city time, right?
Right.
But you're also getting credit, so there's almost like a separate list. You want to get on the fire department, you go ahead of somebody who wasn't in EMS.
Well,
Correct.
Would this be if you got turned down for the fire department or you failed the
well, you
test?
could no. Either
No.
way.
Well,
it's a
yeah.
transition.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not everybody transitions.
And Jack made it on?
Jack.
Jack Cluden. Let's talk about
I've
Jack.
known
for a
Jack,
second.
I guess, about 4 or 5 years now, and all he ever said he wanted to be was an EMT, and
Yeah.
I
Good for
loved
him.
being an
God
EMT,
bless.
man.
God bless.
And he lost from his illness. He had cancer, right?
Yeah,
sure.
and he's a
Liver transplant that he had?
He's gotten quite a few transplants.
lost all his
He's been
teeth.
through so much, and
And,
young
uh,
kid, what is he,
27
22,
years old.
23? Oh, he's
He's
27?
young.
27, I think.
Is he that old?
Yeah.
He looks younger. He's been through hell, and to be able to then go and go through the academy.
Yeah, good
Great job,
bless.
Jack.
Great job,
Great
Jack.
job.
Very
We'll
happy.
tag
for
him on this so we can show him that.
Very happy for
You know what we'll do is we're expecting that phone call. Why don't we show a flyer here? Thank you to Paul Anthony. This Saturday, for the first time, the Long Island Comedy Festival and Laughter Saves Lives Foundation and Comedy Tour are teaming up at the Suffolk Theater for a beautiful show. We're going to be doing a raffle and a 50-50 for Laughter Saves Lives, selling our shirts. They're allowing us to do that. It's going to be a fun night. Frankie's going to be there. David Weiss is, we're going to move on. David Weiss is emceeing. We have Steve Oliver on the show, Frank. We have Scott
Schlesinger.
Schenlinger.
Nobody can say it.
And then our headliner, I keep forgetting his name, is the Irish. What's his name? What's his name in there?
Mick Thomas.
Mick Thomas. I'm sorry, Mick. Mick Thomas is closing out the show. Fun
He's
night.
good. I like Mick.
A lot of tickets sold. We have. Thank you
Steve
ahead of time to Danielle from Nursing Home Warriors is coming to sell raffles for us.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, she stepped up. So thank you, Danielle. We'll see you then. And
It's going to be the first time I go to Riverhead where I'm not visiting my uncle in jail, which is pretty cool.
your uncle supposedly is coming.
He
He's
is?
coming. Yep. He will be there on.
I am. I thought I was emceeing that show. I'm not.
I apologize. I didn't tell you.
Okay.
Paul Anthony asked me if David could MC, and I said, "Oh, that's fine."
Glad
I'm
to
sorry.
be on the show. No,
I'm
glad
sorry.
to be on that show.
Yes, it's
Looking
going to be
forward
fun.
to it.
Thank
Being
you,
a show
Paul.
is always fun.
Thank
Yes.
you, Paul.
Always
I
fun.
see.
So I will be having. I have your checks. I got to pick them up tomorrow.
They can see you, you know.
A lot of money. I hear something.
We hear you.
It died.
Talk.
But I hear a
Hello?
voice. Hey,
Hey, there he is.
No, that's Mom. That's Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Yes, hi.
All right, Cheryl. Let's just make this clear because I know that you said you were not tech savvy, so you have the computer off, right?
Yes,
And all you hear is my voice.
correct.
And a lovely
Poor thing.
voice it is it not,
Yeah,
Cheryl?
Oh, yeah, she's thrilled.
Yeah, like
Oh, it
nails
is,
on a blackboard.
definitely.
Cheryl, it's an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I met your son, was it Greg?
Yes.
Greg, he was in my class, and just to let you know, I don't know if he shared this with you, he was the only one that failed the test. So he was a little
Well, that
embarrassed.
sounds about right.
He said, "Don't tell my mother." But no, he was wonderful to deal with. Big guy.
He's the baby.
Yeah, he's a big boy, big boy. It was a pleasure meeting him when we started talking about your son Ryan. Tell us a little bit about Ryan growing up and going into the military.
Well, Ryan had always wanted to be a soldier. He and Greg were known as the Doltz boys on the street. They used to play war. The kids on one side of the street played against the others. During the summer at night, they would sneak out and they would build all kinds of weapons to use. And as he grew older, he played football in high school. Then he went on to the Virginia Military Institute. And he played football there until he had mono. And then he became a rugby player. He said it was football without pads and
Yeah.
better parties.
Yeah, that's a tough sport.
And he was a member of the Virginia National Guard for 5 years and was deployed after graduation stateside as part of Operation Noble Eagle, then transferred to the New Jersey Guard and volunteered to be deployed again just a few months after his first deployment to go to Iraq. He was injured in training, broke both of his heels, and was supposed to be out for 6 months, but convinced them in 2 months that he was all better, and arrived in Iraq in April of 2004, and he died June 5th, 2004.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Thank you for his service. And how did he die? Was it a roadside bomb or
A roadside bomb.
roadside
He
bomb?
and another young man. Actually, on June 4th, there was an attack on their unit that killed 2 from New Jersey National Guard and injured 2 others severely, and then killed 3 Oregon National Guardsmen who came to their aid. On the 4th, they were told, or the 5th rather, they were told that they did not have to go out on patrol, and they said, well, we're going, because they were the Scorpions, and everybody knew them as the Jersey guys, and don't mess with the Jersey guys.
Yeah.
So they went out, and in almost the same spot, they were returning from the mission. They hit a roadside bomb, and Ryan and the young man sitting next to him, Umberto Timoteo, were both killed.
Very sorry. Very sorry.
Thank you, but no one could have stopped him. He was doing exactly what he wanted
What
to
to
do.
do. And there's not many of us who could say that in life that, hey, you know what? we're doing exactly what we want to do every day. Some people drag to work and this and that. So I guess there's something to be said for that. But as a mom, that doesn't make it any easier, I don't think, right?
No, it doesn't.
No.
No, not at all.
I'm sure you're very, very proud of him. So this was in what year, Cheryl?
2004, at the beginning of the war.
Okay. So when did you start this foundation in memory of him?
We started it the following year. I retired and decided that we needed to do this. We had decided from the very beginning to give scholarships in his memory,
Right.
but we decided to set up the Sergeant Ryan E. Dulles Memorial Foundation. And in addition to giving scholarships, to do things for the military, for military families, for the families of the wounded, for the wounded themselves. In fact, this Saturday, we will be making pillows that are given to wounded soldiers at Walter Reed and also to veterans at Lyons, and they are sent with packages to deployed soldiers. They're
Nice.
called comfort pillows. They look a little bit like a dog bone, but you can use them to put for an amputee to put under a leg or an arm to give it some support. It can be used by someone on a plane to protect their neck, or just to be a little more comfortable on
Right,
some
right.
of those very uncomfortable planes. And we'll be doing that on Saturday at the Mine Hill Civic Center.
Nice. So you've been going since that's a long time for
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And how was the turnout at your events?
Very good. We have a big fundraiser in the fall, a beefsteak dinner and a turkey tray, and we usually have around 200 to 220 people at that.
Great.
Nice.
And it's very nice.
Well, like I told you on the phone, and these guys, I'm sure will back me. It would be an honor to help you raise some money for what you do by doing a comedy show. What we do, as you know, we do shows in memory of the guys that were lost on 9/11, and part of our goal is to make people laugh in their name and raise money for cool charities like yours. So I know you're having a meeting and you're going to discuss it. I hope we get the thumbs up and not the thumbs down.
Oh, absolutely. I will definitely discuss it with them this
right.
weekend.
Is there a phone number, website
Yes.
people can go? You can tell our listeners if they're interested or naturally want to donate?
Yes, rememberingryan.org is our website.
Okay.
And we also have a Facebook page, the Sergeant Ryan E. Dulles Memorial Foundation.
Since we do have a comedy slant on this show. I mean, you did mention he used to make weapons. Can you give me a story, time that Ryan made you laugh or smile?
Well, now Ryan was the serious one. Greg,
Oh.
that you met, he's the comic.
Okay.
He was always doing something funny. And we were trying to think of something that Ryan had done that was funny. And I think if I had had a camera and could have videoed it at the time, I would definitely have won $100,000 on America's Funniest Home Videos. My husband and Greg were in the backyard. Greg had graduated from college in 2003 with a degree in landscape design. And the deal was he could live at home for free if I had beautiful gardens. So he was planting azaleas down the side of the fence, and he had 7 to plant. He got 6 of them planted, came to the 7th, and they hit a rock. And they kept digging, and the rock was about 8 inches, 9 inches across, maybe 12 inches long, and they just could not get it out of the ground. So Ryan, of course, was not one to be outside helping in the yard. He was inside watching NASCAR because that was his favorite thing. So I went into him and I appealed to his masculine side and said, your brother and your father are outside and they have no strength at all. They really need you to come out there and help them get this rock out of the ground. So, of course, oh yeah, I can do that. So he goes out and he looks at it and he goes, well, we need a 2x4. So he gets a 2x4. He decides he's going to use it as a lever to get it up out of the ground. And I'm sitting watching, and the next thing we knew, Ryan was flying through the air, landing on his back. The board broke in half. Turns out that rock was iron ore.
Oh.
It wasn't just a rock.
Oh.
And they managed between the three of them to roll it out of the hole, and that's where it sits today.
Great story.
Now
Great
that
story.
rock sounded like it was hundreds and hundreds of pounds. I'm thinking.
It probably was.
Yeah.
Mine Hill is built on top of the iron mines that supply George Washington
Okay.
with the iron for the bullets they used in the Revolutionary War, and that was a piece of that ore.
Very cool.
So that's a good memory there too.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for Skyping in. I know. Thank you to your daughter. Is she there with you?
Yes, she is.
Let's see that face. Where is she? Peek in here.
She's hiding.
Get over here. I want to thank her. Can she peek in here? Is she
She's
coming?
the strong silent.
There she is. Thank you for helping us out with the technical end of it tonight.
No problem.
No problem. Is there anything you want to add, or you want to disappear?
I can disappear. That's good.
And you don't want to add anything else to this?
Well, there is one thing. There is a TV series
Yes.
that has been, the pilot episode is about Ryan. It's called War Heroes with Chris Peranto. The premise is that every soldier has a story. And it will be about not just soldiers that have died, but soldiers that were wounded, reunions of Vietnam veterans, all
Nice.
sorts of things. And it's produced by Jack Thomas Smith, Mandy Del Rio, and Glenn Nivolo. And hopefully it's going to be picked up by a network, because I think it's going to be a wonderful
Sounds interesting.
series.
Yeah, sounds
That
interesting.
sounds great.
I hope so.
Those kinds of shows are, they're always riveting. They're always they always hold your interest because they're human stories.
Absolutely. And, you see enough of the movie stars doing crazy things on TV. People need to see about the soldiers.
That's right. Never forget.
Listen,
Never forget.
I want to know. Personally want to know about the soldiers. I don't want to know that Justin Bieber wants to fight Tom Cruise.
No. We don't need to know that. Well, thank you guys for calling in, and we'll be talking to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Ryan, can we go to LifeVac? All right.
Parents, please listen. This is a LifeVac. It's easy to use and can save a life in an airway emergency. LifeVac is proven to save lives, and it's as simple as place, push, pull. I've had one in my kitchen and one in my car for years, and you should have one in yours. Choking is a leading cause of death. 5,000 people a year die from choking, one child every 5 days, and it can happen in just 4 minutes. There's no time to wait. If you have children in your home, please consider your LifeVac today.
And we're back, and not only are we back, we got a little screen on the bottom again. Looks like Mr. John Clark is there. He just appeared.
It's almost like we know what we're doing here.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
do you have
Same.
you have your screen off, right? Your computer off?
Yes.
I mean, not the computer, the show. Because then you wouldn't be watching us, I guess. Oh, you're not watching us. We're watching you. John,
Yes.
thank you for taking the time to call in. What did we get, by the way? I called you before and you were on a train and you were told to shut up. What was that?
Yeah, the conductor, unfortunately, she's replacing somebody who was there for 30 years, so she's doing all the wrong things, unfortunately. I don't want to badmouth her, but she told me, shut that off. You can't have anything on the quiet car. And then I realized it's the first car at night. It's not the quiet car, but such is the life of a railroad commuter.
That doesn't happen in the clown car.
No, or the bar car.
Where do you live, John?
I'm in Wantagh.
Oh, you're in Wantagh. All right, so you were on the
Yeah.
Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, every day into Brooklyn and back.
All right, and what do you do? What do you do for a living?
I'm a social worker at New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital. I
Okay.
hope they don't add any more words to the name,
So now, remind me, because I'm an idiot, how did we meet, or was it just on Facebook or request?
Well, I don't want to sound that old, but I was one of your WGBB callers all those years ago.
No.
You made an impression on me, and I've always been your fan,
Oh, John, that means a lot to me. So you used to call in when Tommy and I hosted the show?
Yes.
Oh,
And I
that's
always remember
awesome.
When I hung up, they said, "What was that?" I don't know. What was that?
That's all. Have you
So
ever
I
come
felt
to
like
any
I
of
was
our comedy
contributing.
shows?
Say it again?
Have you ever come to any of our comedy shows?
I went to one at Wantagh Firehouse.
How was it?
It was great.
All right, we're gonna do a show. I'm trying to put a few things together just to get some Laughter Saves Live shows over the summer. But as soon as I do, remind me. Free ticket for you for your longtime support.
Thank you, sir. That's
All
very
right?
nice.
No, we really appreciate it. There's not many people who've been following me for that long and still like me.
Isn't anybody following you?
Now, what is your
Excelsior.
what is your
No,
title
no.
again?
What is your title again?
I'm licensed master social worker is what the state calls me, but I get people out of the hospital that doctors put there, basically.
Okay, so now your career. Were you ever a volunteer firefighter?
No.
Okay, so
I grew up in Mineola, and they wouldn't take me. They were one of the greatest volunteer crews around.
okay.
I was on their bowling team, that's about it.
All right. It's good.
Okay.
All right, so tell us about
Of course,
this.
you can't fight a fire, but you can make the 210 split, and that's the main thing. All right.
I did once, yeah.
I would say
The
once.
210 or the 110? The 210.
Seven-
right?
seven,
Corners.
10.
That's bowling talk. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Did you ever bowl in the league? You bowled in the league?
No, but I
Yeah.
watched it on TV.
Oh,
Everybody knows the 210.
So,
Bowling
John,
for
tell
dollars.
us about your heart injury or illness and what that was all about.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to spread the word. Basically, I had a stroke in 2002 while driving to work, and that involved my right eye going left and my left eye going right, which I don't know if you ever tried that when you're driving. It's not a good idea. So I closed one eye, and I was able to get off the road, and a colleague of mine said, you don't look so good. Fortunately, I was working in Port Washington at the time, so they took me to, fanfare, St. Francis Hospital, which, if you have a heart problem, that's the only place to be.
Yes.
I also had dizziness, so I went to the triage area, and the automated blood pressure cuff read 235 over, and I didn't even see what the other number was. I've never been, a 120 or 140 guy.
Wow.
So I knew something was off, but they have such a wonderful system there. The same chair that I was in the waiting room suddenly became a treatment area. And I was told that, yes, I had had a stroke, and I was still feeling the effects. So I just have to pause and go back. I was born with a heart murmur, and my doctor told me that my heart murmur was one of the best heart murmurs he'd ever heard. And so as I got older, I could use that to judge the skill of the doctors that would treat me. And if they didn't catch the heart murmur, then I didn't need to have them as a doctor.
Right, dump them.
So that's also one of the signs of this condition known as patent foramen ovale. I don't want to be too medical technical, but foramen ovale sounds like somebody who used to sing with Pavarotti at the Met. But it's basically when we're in utero, our hearts have a valve between our atria to let the blood go back from mom because our lungs aren't working.
Right.
That little valve is supposed to stay closed, but in my case, it was going lub-dub-dup, and I still can't dance. So it was really fruitless to have that skill at that time. So that was the cause. And I also had migraines, which I didn't know till after I had the problem fixed, the hole in the heart was repaired, that the migraines went away.
So are the
some
migraines from the high blood
things-
pressure? The migraines were from the high blood
was
pressure?
Actually, the clots had gone up through that little hole. Instead of going back to the lungs, they went up to the brain.
Jeez.
So it was like when the TV goes out and you see that little dot, and then now we ain't even got the dot, that kind of thing. So back in the ER, I met all these other gentlemen who had basically looked like they had railroad tracks. Oh, I had a quadruple last year. Oh, I had a quadruple, And I was getting scared because I didn't know what to think. Well, but some of the funny things started to happen. I was covered at the time by an insurance company known as MDNY, but when they called, they told them it was MDNO because I didn't have a primary doctor. So I stayed in the ER all day at St. Francis on a surfboard, which had wheels on it. They call it a gurney, but it's really just an old surfboard. With my 6'3" frame sticking off both sides. And eventually a doctor came along who looked something like John Forsythe with the debonair hair. And he wrote PFO on my wrist and walked away. And he basically told me, that's what you have. I said, well, what is it? I don't know what it is. He said, basically, you have a hole in your heart and you have to have surgery pretty soon. So naturally, that's not something you want to hear, even if you're in an emergency room.
No.
But he basically explained that you can have additional strokes if you don't have something done. So I had an MRI, but the best test I had was the TEE, a transesophageal echocardiogram. So if you ever have the chance to have one, make sure you pay attention, because I was ushered into this room with an Irish nurse with a wonderful brogue. She was playing Enya on the tape, that ethereal kind of music, and the lights were down dim. And she said, "You're going to swallow this vacuum hose, and we're going to take a look at your heart."
Oh, jeez.
Because that's where they proved by shooting some saline into my veins that the clots were going through the passageway that they weren't supposed to use. What I really felt bad for was the guy in the next bed, because I don't know if you've ever heard the dry heaves, but this guy, it was retching and retching and retching, until finally the Valium wore off, and I realized it was me when they were taking the tube out of my throat.
Oh, jeez.
That's how far away Enya took me that night.
So now, what was the treatment for this, and how, if other people have this condition, how would they know?
I was very lucky. Well, the heart murmur is the first thing. If anybody has a heart murmur, don't run, but walk calmly to your doctor and say, could my heart murmur be something more? Because that's 1 out of 10 people are walking around with this.
Yeah, John, hold on 1 second. Hold on one second. You had a heart murmur your whole life, right?
Never gave me a problem, but yes.
But did you have it checked out along the way? Or you just got used to having it?
So pronounced. It's like, yep, that's me. I got a backbeat,
Yeah, but I'm saying, did you go to a heart doctor every other year, or?
No, because that, in the 50s, the doctor who delivered me was my doctor till I was 21, and then he had the nerve to retire,
Right. All right, so the key here is if somebody has a heart murmur.
And a migraine.
And a migraine.
Contributing factor.
All right.
To get it checked out.
Right.
And I was lucky because of the 4 options, one was doing nothing, so that was out right away. There was open heart surgery, and there was closed heart surgery. And the 4th option was a lifetime of Plavix, which, that was an experimental medication at the time.
You familiar?
So I said, I'm not familiar with closed heart surgery. And what they do is they deliver through your groin.
I was going to say,
a catheter with a tiny little umbrella. You can't barely see it, but it goes in the space and pops it open. But the funny thing about that was they had also found that I had a meningioma when they did my CAT scan. So I said, wait, I have a hole, right? So just take that little lump from my skull and put it in the heart, And they said, wait, you work in a hospital and you're not a doctor, right? And then for the hemangioma, the neurologist told me, I got a guy in Jersey. He's got a pencil-thin laser. He can take care of it. I just said, do you have any cats? He said, why? I said, when it's a cat's whisker laser, then come back to me and talk about treatment, okay? Because pencil's still too big.
So now, how long ago was this that you?
2002.
Oh, and how are you doing?
I'm doing well. 17 years, and trying to spread the word through the Heart Association. I started out asking people, the little letter that comes from the Heart Association in honor of my stroke. How about, $15 for the 15th anniversary?
Right.
And one of my neighbors commented, hey, if you live a long time, this is going to get expensive. So.
Well, that really cool. Do you, Pat? You want to ask John anything there?
God, geez, no.
No.
I don't know what I could possibly ask.
John, I have a heart murmur too. So
Is it
after the
pronounced?
show, I will be going straight to First Med to get this thing checked out.
When was the last time you
Okay.
had your heart murmur?
No, I'm
you're
good.
good.
I'm good right now.
He's good. Steve's good.
Yeah.
By the
Like I
way,
said, don't
Frank had a
rush, but
tiny umbrella near his
contributing
groin as
factor.
well, but that's something different.
That was last week when you were in a bar there
Yes,
drinking.
Yeah.
The tiny umbrella.
That's what the tiny umbrellas in the
It was
drink
the only
are for.
tiny umbrella.
Have you had to modify your lifestyle in any way, shape, or form because of this? Anything you can't do, or?
Well, it scared the crap out of me when I first had it happen
Right.
because the doctor who does the procedure at the time only did it once a week. So I had to wait 45 days to get in.
Jeez.
And it was a pediatric cardiologist. And I don't know if you ever had to bring your kid there, but I was the only one in the room without a kid. And all the mothers were grabbing their kids closer. So they're like, don't go near that.
You drove to work the day you had your stroke,
Well, I was driving at the time it happened, yeah.
but
So-
you didn't pull over and get a ride. You kept going to work, or
Well, I did. When I got to work, it was within like 5 minutes of it occurring. And when
Okay.
the dizziness came back, and I'm not a roller coaster guy because I don't like them. It felt like I've been on a roller coaster too long,
Yeah,
And then my colleague said, I think we better go to the hospital and check that out. So
good idea.
I can't say anything better about St. Francis.
Well,
And I also
John,
went back there for my surgery. What they called it surgery was really not a procedure. When I passed out from the anesthesia, I heard you mention before, I
Yeah.
thought, what a great little nap. When are we going to get going? She said, you've had it. And I said, I
Yeah.
don't think that's a phrase you should use in a heart hospital. Do you think that? No, I don't think so. But turns out the nurse that took me in for the one-day surgery, we had gone to school together. So I was brought coffee and graham crackers. That's about the sum total of what they can give you. And then, of course, the social worker in me was counseling the person in the next bed, a guy younger than me, had the same thing I had, but his stroke was, really bad. So I was doing group work with the wife and the husband while I was in the hospital. So
Always on duty.
Didn't send him a bill.
Always on duty, John.
well, John,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing your story.
yeah, well,
Thanks for
thank you.
sharing your story. Hopefully, somebody will watch it at one point and it'll help them.
I hope so.
I hope 30 years from now, when we're still doing this show, you come back and tell us you're doing
Yeah.
good too.
And I hope you have to donate $100 one day for every year.
There you go. Right. Thank you.
All right, John, we'll see you at that show. Stay in touch on Facebook. We'll get you a ticket.
Definitely. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy.
John,
Thanks for calling in.
We got to do a
Bye bye.
Oh, yeah, do MCN.
Okay.
I'll tell you something interesting about that.
Are we okay? We ready?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Established in 2003, MCN Duct Cleaning LLC is the end result of many years of research, continuing education, and determination. With a background in HVAC systems and working for an HVAC company for over 13 years, Matthew Nichols realized the need to provide a better, cleaner, and safer environment, not only for his own family, but for families in his community. MCN has now expanded to both Suffolk and Nassau counties, provides service for both residential and commercial properties. Their goal is to be the #1 source for the HVAC cleaning and provide high-quality service not only the first time, but any time, but every time.
Give a little more bubbles. A little more bubble in there. A little more bubble. No, not a little more bubbly.
Okay. You can reach Matt at MCM Duct Cleaning at 631
That's bubbles.
885-5736. Again, 631-885-5736. And get your ducts cleaned by Matt at MCN.
Now, we did the commercial the other day. We did the voiceover and sent it to Matt. And he goes, oh, it's great. I don't know if you met Matt. Great. It's
Matt,
great.
yes.
This is good.
Matt's a great
Yeah,
guy.
the only problem is, you got to use a different phone number. Like, it's on the truck. It's on his shirt in the commercial. I go, what do you mean? Oh, no, that's my cell number. You got to use the office number. So now I don't know what we're going to do. We got to somehow, either maybe cut the truck. I don't know. But I just thought it was funny. He made it say, oh, no problem. Just change the phone number.
Clean your ducts, folks. It's that time of
Get your
year.
ducts cleaned.
Any time of year. So, you had a little, something you wanted to talk about?
I have a little something if you guys want.
Yeah, why not?
I just wanted to say one
If it's
thing.
as
We got,
riveting as your commercial read, it should be
Yes.
great.
I've been wanting
Cold
to.
read. I do a cold read.
No, you're very good. Pat.
You're very good. Very good. Don't listen to him, Patty.
You're very good.
Um,
John didn't need anesthesia.
I had.
Johnny's anesthesia.
I had these questions written for weeks, and we always run out of time. And I found them interesting questions. You guys did such a great job at my roast, but if we had to roast you, if you were roasting you, so to speak, what is the one thing that you would roast you on? What is your, I don't want to say flaw, what is your thing that jumps out to you? Oh, if you're going to roast me, you got to talk about this.
Well, it's two different. It's two things. It's
Yes.
either do I dye my hair, which I don't, and where do I go when I leave here?
Right? Where does he go? He shows up here. He shows up at the comedy shows. Where is he in between? We don't
And
know.
oftentimes he leaves,
Yeah.
and we go to the diner,
And he disappears.
and then he shows up at the diner.
Drives by himself too.
Yes.
I drive by myself.
That's
to
where I
shows.
would be. You're driving by yourself.
I drive by myself to shows because I rehearse in my car. That's why I drive. Not because I'm antisocial. I mean, I like.
Oh, we
any-
know you're not
Well,
antisocial.
it's
Yeah.
needless to say.
Yeah.
You know.
As long as you don't call me before, 3, 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
All right.
That's probably it.
I thought that's an interesting question.
It is.
What we roast you on?
I don't know. I really,
Really?
don't. I really don't. I mean, there's so many. There's so many.
I would roast
That's the
Frank.
question you got to ask my wife.
I would roast Frank on his many endeavors, because you're talking about Sergeant, did some boxing
Yes.
right? A brief career.
EMS.
EMS. By the way,
FDNY.
this was Frank's.
What's going on
when he
here?
was driving the EMS truck?
Yeah, ended up on a
He
fire
ended
truck.
up
Oh,
Well, that's right. Acting.
real estate,
Real estate.
acting,
Acting.
I owned
Comedy.
Husband.
iron worker,
No, I was never an iron worker, but I did. My wife and I
pizza
did own.
delivery guy,
Pickle man.
My wife and I did own a bar, and I had a
Cross-dresser.
catering business.
That's right,
catering
bar
business.
Cross-dressing is just the hobby.
gutter,
Oh, sorry.
gutter cleaner,
Butcher.
Gutter cleaner.
Butcher.
Salvation
I
Army
did work as
bell
a butcher
ringer,
shop.
He was a broken parking meter bagger.
motor vehicle clerk,
He installed tiles.
Yes.
children's party Spider-Man,
Children's.
Yes.
And that wasn't. He wasn't even invited.
He was a bubblegum. He was a
I just happened to wear my Spider-Man outfit.
He was a sidewalk bubblegum scraper in Nassau County when he was.
baggage handler
What?
at MacArthur Airport.
What would we roast Pat? Well, poor Patty G gets roasted every day. This man handles more abuse
He
between
does.
you
He's
and Patty
He's
Marone.
good-natured. He's good-natured.
Good natured.
I would roast Pat on van, windows blacked out,
Right.
duct tape,
The white van.
Screaming.
twine,
Don't do that.
This is me
His
and Marone.
his clown outfit.
Chew.
his clown outfit, his exciting tax career.
Yes.
Wonderful reading of
My
commercials.
fascination with certain female comics, but we'll leave that for another
Right.
show.
Right. His Cub Scout weekend endeavors as a scout leader,
All right, so my name
he
was
wasn't even
Louise
in the
one night
Scouts.
in the Poconos.
What do
You
you
gotta
got?
go telling everybody.
and his president of the O.J. Simpson fan club. No one knows that.
What do you got there?
Guys, tonight, do we have any time for this?
We do.
Well, we have 4 minutes.
Okay.
Go,
Make
buddy.
it
All
funny
right.
and quick,
Okay.
and, like we always
This
do.
is a short history of vaudeville.
There's never,
Oh,
there's
okay.
never short with you. But go
Okay,
ahead.
and there's a couple of terms
Hurry
that
up, or I'll
apply
squirt
to
you in the
us as
face.
comics. Which
Today.
I'm going to go
Hurry
into.
up, or I'll squirt you
Okay.
with a flower.
In the in the mid 1800s, a gentleman by the name of Tony Pastor was an entertainer and a businessman who did shows
Tony Pastor?
on the Bowery.
When did
Yes,
Tony
They
pass
were
away?
filthy raunchy.
Filthy
Okay?
raunchy shows.
He realized he could make a lot more money with family shows because the Industrial Revolution was coming. People had
All right.
disposable income.
Did he shoot an elephant in his pajamas?
Okay.
How he got in his pajamas, I'll never know.
Oh, Steve, look, a duck. Okay. At the same time, so he started doing clean shows, no cursing, no vulgarity.
Right.
Two,
Like a
two-
Johnny L show.
It's the start of it. Laughter saves lives. That's
Yes,
just how
two
Laughter
brothers.
saves lives.
Now there were
evolved.
two guys named Ben Keith and Ed Albee who emerged as the leaders. They had 17,000 theaters by the early 1900s.
They performed in 17,000.
no, they owned.
Oh,
Now what they would do at their main theater and what they would instruct their managers to do was to watch every single act
right.
and write down any cursing, any sexual contact, any vulgarity. That would be put inside of an envelope in the actor's mailbox the next day.
Right.
The envelopes were blue.
Right.
That's where we get blue humor from.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Now
Very interesting.
Now, well, stay there very quickly now.
That's the most
A
interesting
typical
thing.
show, vaudeville show had
Yep.
7 acts.
7 acts.
The first was pantomime juggler. The second act was actually for teen brother and sister acts.
Did they smash fruit in it?
No.
Okay.
The Gum sisters were very popular. There was a young lady named Frances Gum,
Trump
who you might later
impersonations?
know as Judy Garland. Okay. The third act was for comedy. Now here's where the fourth, fifth, and sixth were varied.
Here's where it gets interesting, you're going to
The
say.
7th act was the headliner. The closing act was the worst performer.
Which act shot the seltzer?
Steve, look, two ducks.
Butch, you bring in Butch.
No,
into
no, we
this?
got 2 good things to close on it.
Yes,
now,
please.
the closer was the worst, weakest act because that's how they got people out of the theater. That's where
That's
the
when you
tomatoes were
closed
being
the show.
thrown.
See, we're going
Right.
back to vaudeville.
I
Right.
gotcha.
Now,
Remember?
okay, bad, unfunny comedy was said to be stuck in the corn, meaning it appealed only to rural audiences out in the Midwest. That's where we get the word corny.
Now, with the
Corny.
Yes.
Now, I heard with the corn,
Whoa.
the next day they saw it too.
Yes.
Okay. We have a bunch of things to roast on Steve Oliva now. Yes, and that is basically
I'm
a
telling
short,
you-
concise history
And
of
that bit reminds me, folks,
I'm glad
a
that's
little
over.
song, a little dance, a little Pat Gagliotti.
But you learned a little bit tonight. You learned where blue humor came from.
We did.
You learned that the closer was
recap.
not the
He's
plum
recapping.
spot. The closer was the worst. Got people out of the theater. And you
like
learned
it.
Not only did it once, now he's recapping.
Right.
Yes.
And I condensed 9 pages.
In honor of that, I'm going to have an exploding cigar later on.
Come out to Saturday, Riverhead Theater to see us.
See you there.
Good night, everybody. Laugh to say Cars Live.
Love on a stick. He's chasing the beer that circle the lips. Play ball. Play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball. Play ball. Take off the caps. Time for the song.